We've deployed Nextcloud inside a Docker container, but we told it to use MariaDB, which is running on the host. For that to work, we've first created a new MariaDB user called Nextcloud, and we've allowed it to connect from each Docker subnet defined in etc docker daemon.json file. That means that no matter which IP gets assigned to the Nextcloud Docker container, we know that it will be from one of these subnets, meaning that this user will be allowed to connect to the MariaDB server. In order for that to happen though, we also had to add some additional firewall rules. There were no rules allowing connection from any of these subnets to port 3306, so we had to add one for each subnet. Now, when user Nextcloud tries to connect to the database on the IP I configured, 10.36.7.11, it will get out of the container using the default route. Host will recognize that the destination IP is its own loopback IP, and request will reach MariaDB on port 3306. User which initiated the connection will be Nextcloud at some of the IPs from these Docker subnets, and because those are defined in MariaDB, connection is successful. Here's what happens when I try to connect to nextcloud.do-p.com from my laptop. I first need to resolve this domain to an IP address. Because I'm connected with WireGuard, my DNS server is Pi-hole. Request goes through the tunnel, reaches Pi-hole. Pi-hole then asks upstream server, which probably already has this cached, but if not, it will ask the name server for do-p.com, and it sends back the response. This response is public IP address, but since I have this IP in allowed IPs in my WireGuard config, that means that the route for this IP is through the tunnel. I go through the tunnel, connect to port 443 on host, which is mapped to 443 inside traffic. I then reach traffic. Traffic checks HTTP headers and sees that I'm asking for Nextcloud service, and it lets me through because my IP is from the WireGuard subnet, which is listed in IP whitelist middleware.